said that bar is about to be raised, starting with Middle tomorrow
Sure.
night. A pretty good team. What have you seen from them on tape this year? And I know they had a lot of guys coming back from last year's team that y'all played.
Well, Middle, they're very talented. They've got great size, very dominant rebounding team. They're really going to challenge us on the glass. And so we'll need all 5 guys on the floor able to rebound. I think they have very skilled players in Upshaw, Buford, and then also their guard, Potts, came on strong at the end of last season. So they present a lot of challenges for us.
Through the first 2 games we've seen y'all play, it's kind of been a good and bad type team as far as against Freed Hardeman, and then you played really well against Harris Stowe. Where is this team? You know, we're still kind of trying to find out about it.
I don't know. We've only played 1 game. We played the Harris Stowe game. Thought we played very well. The energy was great. Really played unselfishly. I was very pleased with that. 27 assists on 38 of our baskets. We were a lot better at the defensive end of the floor. We've shown some improvement there. But I think there's still a lot of questions, a lot of unknown. And tomorrow night, against Middle is going to be a good indicator of where we're at this point.
Are you looking to use that game as kind of a measuring stick going forward? Because like you said, this starts the kind of gauntlet of really tough games.
Well, I don't think so. I think we're really just committed to the process with this group. We've talked about trying to blend in a couple returners with a couple D1 transfers, with a couple junior college transfers and a couple freshmen. And we're really committed to that process, as cliche as it may be, just getting better each day, really working to build these guys into a cohesive team and understand the value of team. And I think we've taken some steps forward in those areas the last 10 days. And again, win or lose tomorrow night, we got to keep getting better and stay committed to that process.
You talked about rebounding is going to be key.
Sure.
Obviously, with your guys inside, but also your guards. Is that the biggest thing the team has to work on between now and tomorrow night? Is rebounding?
Well, it's got to become a mentality for us, because you're going to see tomorrow night, Middle Tennessee, they crash that offensive glass every time a shot goes up. And we have great size on the perimeter. So G. McGee, DeMarcus Croker, Justin Seymour, and Jeffrey Moss, all 4 of those guys are big for the wing position, and we really need them to help out on the glass. We can't just leave it up to our front court players.
Last year when you played them, they didn't have a really good shooting night at all. I think they were 2 for 20-something from 3. Are you expecting them to have that same kind of night again?
Well, I wish they would, but I think we can chalk that up to just a fluke game. I mean, they shot 18% from the floor, and some of that was just, they were open shots and they didn't knock them down on that night for whatever reason. But hopefully we'll be solid defensively, force them to take a lot of contested shots, and then, not to keep saying it over and over again, but it's going to come down to, can we keep them off the glass? Even as poorly as they shot it last year, they still had 23 offensive rebounds and really hurt us at the free throw line because of those offensive boards. So it'll come down to our ability to contest their shots and then to keep them off the glass.
Regarding Jeff Moss coming into the season, you talked about how you thought that he had stepped his game up and was ready to become a first-team All-OVC kind of player.
Yep.
Where do you think he is right now, and what do you think he needs to do moving forward?
Oh, he's doing extremely well. He's really set the example for how hard you have to work, whether it's in practice or on your individual game. So he's fulfilling his role as a leader as far as the work ethic it takes here at Murray State. He got back in that Harris Stowe game where the numbers weren't where people might expect. He only took 6 shots, I believe. But I told him I was a lot more concerned with his floor game. He was much better defensively. He's a career 3-to-1 assist-to-turnover guy, doesn't make many mistakes. And he can contribute to this team in a lot more ways than just scoring the ball. And I think he's got to keep that in mind as we move forward.
I reviewed some of the statistics from the Harris Stowe game, and then, of course, seeing the exhibition game. Ball movement doesn't seem to be an issue. Shots didn't fall against Freed Hardeman, they fell against Harris Stowe. Do you expect a 27 assist to 38 basket ratio? I mean, is that something that you hope to look for? Is that a benchmark?
I'd like for us to play that way, always making the extra pass, playing the game very unselfishly. Want guys to pass up a good shot to get a great shot, but at the same time, I still want to be able to get the ball inside to Wayne Langston and him operate in there and score without an assist. I still want Bryce and DeMarcus, G, driving the ball and getting to the basket and scoring without an assist. So it's not necessarily a stat we're going to study per se, but usually is a good indicator if we're drawing help from the defense and making that extra pass.
One stat that I'm also looking at, obviously it's very, very early, but you've got some good rebounding totals from your guard forwards,
sure,
so to speak. Is that something that you're going to be leaning on with the development of Wayne and Breon and AJ coming along?
Well, we need them to. I think we're a team. We talked about it some in the preseason. Where Cam got a lot of the attention as far as what we lost off last year's team, and rightfully so. But when you look at Jonathan Farrell and Jarvis Williams, they were two just dominant rebounders for the last 2 years in our program. And so we have to replace all that rebounding, and it's not just going to be a one-man job. We need all 5 guys out on the floor able to do it. And I think G and DeMarcus, Jeffrey, and Justin have all proven that they can rebound at a high level from the perimeter.
From the outside looking in, what is AJ's role so far in this offense?
Sure. Well, AJ's very skilled at 6'9". He can step out and make a perimeter jump shot. As he continues to get stronger, I think you'll see his post-game take off because he is skilled on the block. He can score a jump hook with either hand. It's just living up to the, as he's moved up in level here, handling the physical play and the motor you have to play with at this level to have success inside.
What's it going to take to win tomorrow against Middle Tennessee State?
Well, I think, like any game, you're going to have to be able to defend. You got to be able to rebound. We've really stressed that over and over. I think Middle, they bring great toughness. They're always extremely well coached. They have versatile players at every position who can score inside and out. And then for us offensively, we've got to really do a nice job taking care of the basketball because Middle Tennessee will mix defenses, and they're very long and athletic in their front court, and they can pose a lot of problems for you there.
Looking at this team, very similar to the team 2 years ago when you had a lot of guys coming in that were new.
Sure.
With a lot of guys that graduated the year before.
Yeah.
Y'all played Middle that year, and they came here. They beat y'all by 19. That was kind of a start of a tough stretch for y'all. Were y'all able to learn from it? Are you seeing a lot of correlations between maybe that team and this team as far as they're going to learn a lot as they go with a good team like Middle coming in?
I think so. I mean, that was a whipping a couple years ago. Middle came in here and really took it to us. And, we've played them every year since I've been here, whether it was a regular season game or a scrimmage. And they can really expose you if you don't have great toughness and competitiveness on that glass and at the defensive end of the floor. So I'm not really comparing this group to any team from the past, just really focusing on trying to get these guys to come together as a team, build them into the best team we can become as we move forward throughout the season.
In the exhibition game against Freed Hardeman, you started 2 bigs, you went with 4 guards against Harris Stowe. Is that something that may change game to game, or do you have a feel for how
Sure.
that's going to play out yet?
Well, I think we don't have a set lineup for the whole year like we have in years past per se, but I think we'll just always base it on that week's practice, who's earned those roles for that game, and how we best match up with the other team's personnel. Not really concerned with who starts games. I think it's more important who's going to be out on the floor and play the bulk of the minutes. And those roles, like I've told the team from day one, they're up for grabs every day. We're going to have highly competitive practices, and guys can come out and earn as many minutes as they want to.